Okay. Hey guys, I know it's been a long time, but I wanted to come and give you guys a video and talk about what it was like to work for like Shoppers World USA in Columbus, Ohio, and my experiences on it and how it was. So I started back in August of 2024, and I worked till about January of 2025 before they laid me off, right? And it was cool and everything. Like the people there was pretty cool. They kept on talking about layoffs and stuff during Christmas, like a big layoff during Christmas because I guess they didn't like paying for employees at that time. So yeah, and I was like, cool, that's fine. I don't really care. I just needed the money. Like at the time, I was like, I'm just wanting to get my own place and everything because I was living with my grandmother and stuff, and I have kids, and I didn't want to do that. And I ended up getting that job, and I worked there, and it was something I liked because it was warehouse work and it was a second shift job instead of a first shift job. And I'm like, okay, I mean a third shift job, which I worked like third shift jobs for like 13 years. And I was like, dude, this sucks. So, um, I was doing that, and we was starting out in the warehouse, and it was like all these boxes on top of each other and stuff like that. And like, I guess there was nobody to do it because nobody was like wanting to do the work, and there was dudes like wanting to steal stuff. So I think my like second or third day there, this random black dude that was working there, he ended up getting fired because I guess he stole shit. And I don't want to use anybody's names because I'm like pretty sure that that's a bad thing or whatever. So just imagine him as like um, Devo. So like Devo, he's like just chilling on his phone, right? And he's just chilling and like cutting boxes open and stuff. And then next thing you know, the boss comes in, and I'm just gonna leave him as the boss. The boss comes in, and he's this old dude, and he like wobbles in there and shit. And then he goes up to him and he goes, "Hey, Devo, I seen on the camera that you're lazy as hell and you ain't doing your work. So get the fuck out. I ain't paying for you. You're fired." And dude is like, what the fuck? I've been working here all day, man. And like, all the other dudes were talking shit about him and everything. And I'm like, I don't even know who the hell he is. It just started, man. So then, next thing you know, like, we're doing boxes and stuff. I'm learning the ropes and everything, just doing stuff day by day. And, these dudes they tell me that like we're not to work very hard, not to do anything like too stressful, don't work too hard for the boss, like things are pretty chill here and that you shouldn't really like care. And I'm like, okay, cool. So like, I was like still working hard because like most of the jobs that I worked, you gotta work hard or else they're gonna end up firing you or letting you go because they think that you're lazy as hell. And I don't want to be known as a lazy as fuck lurker. I'm sorry. So like, I was doing shit like just stocking shelves, making sure boxes got done, stuff like that. Like pushing out like 3, 4 racks. Plus, I would organize shit and make sure things were taken care of and everything. And then like day to day tasks would be coming in at 9 a.m. and like coming in at 9 a.m., signing in on their little like hand print scanner thing that they got. It's like a thumbprint scanner. And it was a pain in the ass because this fucking scanner would never work for you. It would never fucking work. And you'd be trying like 5, 6 times and this bitch wouldn't fucking work. And then like then you'd finally get it, and you're like, oh, cool, thank you. So, like, they had me doing that, and then, like, then they had me cleaning the bathroom. And I'm like, why the fuck am I cleaning the bathroom? And they're telling me because there's no janitor, so we need you to be our janitor for the day. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I think that they looked at my resume, well, my work history, and they seen that I did a lot of janitorial work, and they was like, this guy can clean bathrooms, let's have him do it. And then I told them, after I got done cleaning the bathroom, I said, look, I'm not going to clean this bathroom anymore. Get somebody else to clean your fucking bathroom because I'm not a janitor. And the security guard who was training me to clean the bathroom was another black dude. Let's just call him Skippy. We'll call him Skippy, the black dude. So Skippy, he tells me that if you don't do this job, we're going to end up firing you. So I tell him, okay, go ahead. I don't care. It's a $10.50 an hour job. So, like, I'm like, they told me not to care anyway, so why should I care about this stupid bathroom that isn't really my bathroom? I don't do this shit. I don't go in there and piss on the floor and put toilet paper by the fucking toilet that has shit on it and piss on it and everything, and then basically tell somebody to clean it. But they told me that I don't need to clean it anymore. I'm like, cool. So I'm just gonna stick to warehouse work. The warehouse work that you guys hired me to do. Because they hired me to be a warehouse supervisor or whatever. When I got there, everybody was basically told that they was supervisors. And everybody was jockeying for that manager position because it was more money and more hours. And I was like, cool, but I don't really want a manager position here because first, it's Shoppers World USA, and I'm not really dedicated like that. So, the first little stupid thing that happened was like they had us go and get some stupid like stuff from Dollar General, and they wanted me to go and like get it for them. Like it was a bag of chips and some water or something for the manager. I'm like, okay, cool. So they gave me the money and everything. I went over to Dollar General and got the stuff for them, and then like did that, and then like they reminded me. They told me, don't take forever doing that because you still got to do your warehouse work. So you got to make sure that that gets done first and everything, and help the manager at the same time. And I'm like, okay, cool. So you guys can see where this is going. My brother, he wants a job because he was working at Chuck E. Cheese at the time, and he didn't like Chuck E. Cheese. He was the mouse that dances. So like, I told him that there's a job and it pays $10.50 an hour. It's a warehouse job, and you don't have to be a cashier. You don't have to do any of that shit, and you could just open boxes, and you can just put shit on shelves and stuff. So he goes and he tells me, okay, that sounds fun. So he gets a job in there, and he tells him that I'm his brother, and the dude is like, okay, cool, but we can't hire, you don't tell anybody else that you're his brother because we can't hire family members. Because I guess Shoppers World has an anti-family rule that if there's family members, there could be a lot of drama or some bullshit like that. So I was like, okay, cool. So we didn't really act like brothers. We acted like friends, whatever. And so like, we was working together and shit, and he was doing the men's section, and I was doing the boys section, and I would knock out my racks while he was knocking out his racks. And so like, dude, we would be getting like 10 racks done, 7 racks done, or whatever, and like their minimum was just 3 racks a piece, and we was getting like multiple racks done. And our whole thing was like, if we're gonna be here from 9 a.m. to fucking 6, then we should work until, that time, because why the fuck would you want to sit around doing absolutely nothing from 9 a.m. till 6? That's like fucking torture. So like, we was doing work and everything, and then like, this one guy, he goes and he bitches at me and he bitches at everybody and says that I was fucking up and that I'm putting shit out in the wrong spots and all this other shit and everything. And I'm like, dude, I've been doing the shit that you guys showed me how to do when you guys trained me how to do it. Like, you guys are the ones that trained me how to do this shit. I'm not doing anything other than what you guys are showing me. And I even showed the manager that shit. I showed the manager, I showed the boss, I showed everybody that. And they was like, oh yeah, he's not fucking up. But the dude, let's just say that, oh man, there's a lot of D's, man. Let's just call him Double D. Let's call him Double D. Or DD. Let's call him DD. DD was complaining about that. And then he was saying underneath his breath and walking by while I was working and shit, and being like, I'm going to have to fix the whole boys section again. And I'm like, motherfucker, I was put onto this section to do it, and you haven't even fixed your fucking girl section. He hasn't even, like, dude was literally just walking around talking to this other random dude that I ended up helping him get the job that he and my fiance knew, that was helping me with, like, working on box trucks and shit for U-Haul and stuff like that. That's a whole nother fucking story. So, like and comment if you want to hear that shit. But, they would be walking around just talking in the fucking store and everything, not even doing their fucking work or nothing. Then they would go and take fucking 45, 50-minute lunch breaks to, like, fucking Taco Bell or McDonald's or Dollar General or Dollar Tree or wherever the fuck they wanted to go at the moment. And then there would be the random ass times that they would want me and my brother to pay for the lunch that they got because they didn't have any money. And you would imagine that they would be nice enough to pay back that lunch, right? No, they never paid back that lunch. And it's like, bruh. So after a while of them asking for us to buy them lunch, we'd be like, we don't have any money, dudes. Like, you have your own money, you're getting paid, so buy your own lunch. And then there'd be times where, like, random ass shit would be said. Like, my brother would be, like, saying they would be talking shit about me and everything on the way I walk and shit. Like, especially the security guard, he would be making fun of me on how I walk because I have cerebral palsy. And I'm like, dude, that's kind of fucked up, but I don't really care. It's just a job, just wanting to work. And then, like, we would be doing the Christmas stuff and everything, and we would be putting out Christmas trees and stuff like that, and doing everything that the boss wanted us to do, and we would be making him happy and shit. He'd be, like, talking to my other brother who's working at the other Shoppers Road and being telling him that we was doing such a good job and everything. And, like, meanwhile, I'm hearing from all the other employees that eventually there's going to be layoffs and shit. So, like, I'm like, okay, cool. So, if there's going to be layoffs, then cool, that's fine. Whatever you guys want to do, like, quit talking about it kind of shit. And it was basically the main news every single time you go into work. That and, the fact that fucking Lee didn't do his shoot. That the other dude didn't do his shoes. So, like, we had to go in there, me and my brother, and we had to fix thousands. I'm talking about thousands of shoes. And these were shoes that they've had over the years because they haven't sold any of these shoes, and they've had fuck-ups on their audit. Like, over the years, I think like 4 or 5 years, they had a fuck-up on their audit. And it was the most surprising thing for me to see because I'm into business and everything. I'm into the stock market. And when a business has fuck ups on their audit for 4 or 5 years, that's not good. That's really not good. And I guess that's why they laid off the whole crew the year before I started. And I'm like, cool. So the one dude, we'll call him Craig. He had cancer and everything, and he was dealing with his own shit and everything. And he was telling him that he wanted more money because shit's expensive. And they had him as a manager of that warehouse, of the whole warehouse, and he was only making $10.75 an hour. He wasn't making, 12.50 like they had said, because he had a criminal history, and they said they can't pay a criminal will give a criminal with a criminal past a raise or a promotion to manager status because of that. And I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. So, yeah, this dude Craig, he had cancer and he liked working there. He said that it was nice and everything, but he didn't get paid enough, and he eventually said, fuck it, I'm quitting. And so he quit randomly after during the whole like Christmas, before the whole audit that they had. And he goes, and then the boss is like freaking out because he needs a new manager and everything. And I guess corporate's getting pissed because they have to come out and they have to see what's going on and everything. And on top of that, the ceiling is falling apart. The whole ceiling is falling down on the workers and the people that are shopping. Like the light sockets and the lights fixtures of the ceiling are burning out because they replaced them with old useless bulbs. Because they said to me when I first started working that I had to replace the lights in the building because I was supposed to do maintenance for them. And I'm like, okay, just because on my work history I have maintenance doesn't mean I'm going to replace all your bulbs in your fucking place. Like, I'm not getting paid for that. I'm getting paid to open boxes and put shit on shelves. So they had some other random dude do it. Let's call him Jared. Jared, good dude, long hair, nice guy. He was, he was willing to do it and everything. He put all those bulbs up and everything, but they kept burning up in the socket holes, like in the socket holders. So they was falling down, burning, and you could smell it in the thing. And then this other employee called OSHA, and I guess OSHA came out and seen that, and I don't know if they did anything. I pray that they did, because that store was really fucked up. And everything. But yeah. And then after the whole OSHA thing and everything coming out and everything, most of their employees were either getting fired or getting laid off or whatever. And they was talking to me about possibly laying me off, and I told them that's fine because I already have my own family stuff going on. Like, I'm trying to move into my new apartment, and I'm trying to take care of my kids, which they had their G-tubes and stuff going on, which they ended up getting admitted into the hospital because their doctor thought that they was being malnourished and neglected. And so we was in there for like the 1st of December to like the almost Christmas. We got out like 2 days before Christmas. And then they like told us that it wasn't us being neglectful or anything. It was just their gene, their duplication gene that they have. And I'm like, okay, cool. So then they told me that I can't have any more days off because I've already had too many days off, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then when I get laid off, they make my brother a manager or whatever, and my brother was a manager, and I guess he was getting paid like $12.50 an hour. And then they like got pissed off at my brother for some reason, and then lowered his pay from $12.50 down to $10.75, and then cut his hours from Monday through Friday to Monday through Thursday, and said that it was because of not enough hours. They laid me off because they said there wasn't enough hours. So, and there was too many employees, but I'm like, you just hired a new person and shit. And I just emptied out, me and my brother just emptied out their whole warehouse for them. Like, we emptied out the whole warehouse, organized multiple sections of that store, put up signs, did shoes, did everything that you could possibly think for a fucking box store. And sorry if you see my kids. It's nice that they are able to play and stuff now that we have our own apartment. It's cool. And I was like, you know what? If you guys are gonna lay me off, fine. That's cool. I'm gonna like do my stock market stuff and just have fun doing that, because I make a lot more and have more fun doing that. But it does suck having just to stare at a screen, not work. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys think that it's bullshit, or if it's just me complaining about a superstore like Shoppers World. Let me know what your experience is if you ever work for them, because I know my brother Chris has worked for one, and well, he's working for one, and my brother Junior, which I think it's cool that I mentioned their names because they're my family or whatever. But anyway, they're like they're able to like work for them and stuff, and they tell me how shitty it is. They tell me about how much they are just tasked with because they don't want to work. The managers themselves don't want to work. And then my fiance even worked for them, and she didn't like the fact that she was a cashier, because the fact that whenever she was being cashier, she would get left with all the customers, and not a single person would help with the customers. And it's like, there's 4 or 5 other cashiers, and they're all either taking a smoke break or doing a lunch break. So what the fuck is wrong with that? And there was this one dude who was doing an undercover boss for one of the stores in Cleveland, and he was tasked to figure out why all of his stores were failing. And I don't think he did a good job, not to be disrespectful, but looking at businesses on the stock market and looking at businesses around, Shoppers World is failing because they're not making enough money, per se. Like, they did good on their Christmas sale, I guess. They sold about $1,500 worth of stuff, but at the very end of the day, that's not enough money to actually do anything with. If you're a big box superstore chain, whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. I would love to get a chance to maybe talk to that CEO, get his opinion on it. But I feel like your security sucks. I feel like your security on your items suck, because all you have to do is, all it is 2 pieces of plastic that you hook into one another. And then all you have to do is just take a magnet to it, and then it's free. Nobody, like, the security guard, at least at that store, he stopped caring. So I don't know if he still actually checks people. I know that he was being an ass and checking everybody and just being like a dick to everybody for no reason. So people kept on threatening to beat him up. So that is another reason why I'm glad I don't work there anymore. Like, if people don't respect your security, then people don't respect your business. And yeah, there's just a bunch of just bad stuff, man. Just bad stuff. Like, if you don't believe me, then look up the actual CEO on Shoppers World and look at his video that he even posted to YouTube about how he was fixing things and how he was helping his workers and stuff. I don't think that he actually meant to help all of his workers, to be honest, because there's a lot of workers that are still struggling, and with a $10.50 an hour job, that's kind of stupid, especially if you're making a lot of money and over. I don't know how many stores he has, but I know he ranges from New York all the way down to Ohio and further. So, like, it just bothers me a little bit that CEOs like that do make that much money and they do not care about their employees. And it's wrong, man. But, again, let me know what your feelings is about it. And please like, comment, subscribe. And thank you for hearing me complain about a stupid-ass job that I worked at.